Nigeria, Africa's most populous country, a nation of more than 230 million people, a country of immense potential. Yet today, it faces one of Africa's most complicated security crises. For years, the spotlight has been on the north. Boko Haram ravaged Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa. Bandits terrorized Zamfara, Katsina, Kaduna, Niger, and Sokoto. The world watched as 276 girls were abducted from Chibok in 2014. More than 200 students were kidnapped from Kuriga in Kaduna in 2024. In 2025, another 315 students and teachers were abducted from a Catholic school in Niger State. What was once considered unimaginable became disturbingly common. Mass kidnappings, schools under siege, children turned into bargaining chips, Wikipedia 1. But in 2026, something changed. The crisis began moving south, to a region long considered relatively safe. Oyo State. On the morning of May 15, 2026, armed men wearing military camouflage rode into communities in Oriyire local government area. Gunshots rang out. Panic spread. Residents fled. The attackers stormed 3 schools simultaneously: the Baptist Nursery and Primary School in Yawota, LA Primary School, and Community High School in Ahoro. Students and teachers were rounded up from their classrooms and marched into the forest. The youngest victims were only 2 and 3 years old. By the time the attackers disappeared into the vast Old Oyo National Park, they had kidnapped 39 pupils and 7 teachers, including a school principal. One teacher was shot dead trying to protect his pupils. Days later, another teacher, Michael Oyedokun, was reportedly beheaded in captivity. The killing was filmed and circulated online, sparking outrage across the country. The Guardian, too. For parents, the nightmare had only begun. Aduke Balagun watched helplessly as one of her daughters escaped, while another, 8-year-old Kosarat, was taken away. Every day, families wait for news. Every day, they ask the same question. When are our children coming home? Reuters 3. The attack shocked Nigeria, not because kidnappings were new, but because they had arrived in the southwest, a region that had largely been spared the scale of violence seen in the north. Security analysts believe many of these armed groups are remnants of criminal networks that were pushed out of northern Nigeria and migrated south. The fear is that what happened in Chibok, Kankara, Kagora, and Kuriga may now be repeating itself elsewhere. The Guardian, too. The numbers tell a grim story. According to Amnesty International, more than 1,100 people were abducted between January and April 2026 across northern Nigeria. In Kaduna, 166 worshippers were abducted from churches. In Zamfara, 92 people were kidnapped in attacks on Anka and Safe. In Borno, more than 400 people were reportedly abducted after insurgents attacked Ngosh town. And in Zamfara again, bandits invited villagers to a peace meeting, only to kidnap at least 39 of them and reportedly demand 125 million naira in ransom. The Times 4. Nigeria's insecurity crisis did not begin overnight. Banditry evolved from cattle rustling, farmer-herder conflicts, land disputes, and illegal mining. Over time, poverty, youth unemployment, weak state presence, and the spread of weapons across the Sahel transformed small gangs into heavily armed criminal organizations. Today, kidnapping has become a multi-billion-naira industry. According to SBM Intelligence, about 15,000 kidnapping incidents were recorded in Nigeria between 2019 and 2025. Between July 2024 and June 2025 alone, kidnappers collected an estimated 2.57 billion naira in ransom payments. The Guardian 5. The government says it is fighting back. Military operations have intensified. Troops recently rescued 360 hostages from Boko Haram captivity in Borno State. Official reports say that in May 2026 alone, 317 terrorists and criminals were killed, while 221 kidnapped victims were rescued. But many Nigerians believe more must be done. Because behind every statistic is a face. A child who left for school and never came home. A teacher who died protecting his students. A parent waiting by the roadside, hoping to see their son or daughter again. The school attacks in Oyo were not just another kidnapping. They were a warning. A warning that insecurity in Nigeria is no longer a northern problem. It is a national problem. And until every child can go to school without fear, the story of Nigeria's insecurity crisis remains unfinished.